And welcome to round one. I won the die roll, so sure I'll play first. Let's see, we've got 2 lands, so this is a keeper. I do not like to mulligan whenever I can possibly avoid it, and this looks like a perfectly fine hand. I've got Sengir and the guys that we won't cast for some time, and Chandra will probably also be a little bit, but we do have a shortcutter and a pyromancer to come down early. Ideally we're going to want another mountain, which activates the geyser as well as Chandra. There we go, another land. Not the one I was hoping to see, but it's fine. We'll get the pyromancer out first, because we don't really have any well, other than the geyser, we don't really have any instants or sorceries that we're going to want to get off in the same turn, so we don't really need to protect it. I'm going to get the pyromancer down first so the shortcutter can come in and help out. Okay, we've got a Sentinel Sliver, not too bad. We'll just shortcut that and get in for 2. There's the 4th land. Still not the mountain that we need, but we are 1 land away from being able to play the Sengir. Alright, sends through, not much choice in the matter. Now if we do get another mountain, that would turn on the geyser, so we could use it as a very expensive shock if we had to. But I'd much rather get the Chandra down, as long as it can be protected. And plus when it gets it up to 5, so he's going to have to play something with at least 3 power to be able to one-turn that. Alright, pre-combat. He's got to widen his mana pool. What's he going to do with it? Alright, Brindabor, that's not too bad. Okay, he does not swing in. Alright, here's an Academy Raider. The Academy Raider's fine here, because it can get through. I don't really want to pitch anything on my hand other than the Swamp, and I do need to get the Swamp down just to have enough mana for the Sengir, so I'm going to probably play that anyway. But we'll swing in first just to see what he does. Okay, no blocks. Let's play the Raider and get that Swamp down. And sometimes it does feel like a bit of a waste when you've got a Raider through and you're not discarding anything, but at least you're in a position where you have all the cards you want, so. Okay, he swings for 4. Not that big of a deal, I'm winning the race. Mana Weft Sliver, okay. Well, that's something that'll be nice to pick off right off the bat if I can get Chandra down. And he sacks, which probably means that a worm is coming up. Yep, there it is. Voracious Worm, he is fat now. That's going to be a 6/6. And Soulmender turned too late. Soulmender's another good target for the Pyromancer. Okay, so now we've got a dilemma. I have 4 perfectly good cards in my hand, but I can't cast any of them. So when I hit with the Raider, the question is, am I going to do something about it? That worm is pretty ugly, so I'd like to be able to Liturgy that as soon as possible. So I might pitch the Geyser here, just because I can't really cast it. I'm going to hold on to Sengir because regardless of the land I get, it comes up next. And the Chandra is going to pick off 2 of his guys pretty quickly. And the Liturgy of Blood takes out the one that's really an issue. Okay, so I pitched the Fireball to get a Marauding Maulhorn. Not the land I wanted, but it does dig me 1 deeper. And it's certainly a solid card. Okay, so when he swings, I will probably chump with the short cutter. He sends the rest through. I'm not sure if the Pyromancer will block or not. But that's not a question I have to decide. He only sends him with the worm. And I like 6 life better than I like my short cutter. So I will send him in to get squished. As long as I draw land, I like my position more right now. I've got 2 extra cards in hand. A lot of strength. Okay, not what I was looking for. That functions fine as a chump blocker right now, but maybe it would be better for me to pitch it and draw land. So let's get in there with the Raider. I'm sorry, the Pyromancer. Nope, Raider. Definitely the Raider. Okay, well, it's not the type of land we wanted, but it is a land, so that's enough for me to Liturgy the Worm. And I'm starting to build some swamps up now for that corrupt that'll hopefully come. Nothing to do with that 3 extra mana. Very rarely do I play Liturgy of Blood and use the mana that comes off of it. Usually it's just a 5 costing kill spell. Alright, you can gain 1 life in return. It looks like I'm holding off his team. That Elemental's a nice addition there. Okay, so I drew a shock. Still not the mountain I want, but it does get me an Elemental if I choose to use it. I can take down that Sliver, which is not inconsequential. Or I could pitch it to search for a mountain. Now I could also be playing my Sengir here. So I'll send the team, accept the Elemental, see how he blocks, and decide if I want to use my shock from there. Okay, so he's going to put the Mana Left Sliver on the Pyromancer. So here I can just go ahead and get rid of both of his slivers. Shock the Sentinel. Looking back on it, I probably should have just sat down and played the Sengir and moved on. So I'm going to pitch the Marauding Maulhorn, not because I don't desperately want to play it, but because without the mountain I can't go. And now I've got a perfectly good Liturgy of Blood to hold things down. So now I've got Sengir and Liturgy of Blood coming up. Bring a Boar, that's fine. It's not a big threat. There we go, there's that mountain I wanted. Okay, so now I can play Chandra. Nuke his Soulmender. He gets that last life off of it. I don't mind. The Soulmender's gained him, I don't know, 4 life or something like that. But I am glad that he spent a card on it. Even with the worm combo, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal to make the worm just 1 little bit bigger for having to play a card like Soulmender. So it's a good sign to me that my opponent is playing a subpar card like that. See, I'm definitely not going to pitch either of these. The Sengir and the Liturgy of Blood are some of the best cards in my deck, so I can't imagine what I would draw into at this point that would be better. Okay, I got Child Knight. That does hit. So let's see. From the beginning here, let's go ahead and +1 Chandra. The 0 in general is better, but I've got plenty in my hand to play, so I don't need to be using that right now. Just send the Raider through, just in case he wants to attack with the Brindlebore. I'll double block with the Elementals. Now I do get the option of swinging with both of them, since I did hit the Brindlebore for one. They both would trade. It's probably a little loose right there to not swing with the Elementals. Alright, Deadly Recluse. That would get in the way of my Sengir. But I top deck a Shock. You can't really argue with that. So that Shock saves my Sengir and lets him through. And +1 Chandra again. Again, leaving back those Elementals. It's a questionable decision. They are protecting Chandra a little bit. Looking through my graveyard right now to see what she would hit if I did ultimate her. She's just looking for an instant or sorcery. And so I've already played out 2 Shocks, so there's really only 1 Shock left in the deck. So if I were to hit a Shock, that would be 6 damage split up in increments of 2. So that would be strong. That would pretty much give me lethal next turn if I were to do it. I could also hit the Corrupt, which would be very nice. That just on its own would finish the game. Okay, so he plays Advocate of the Beast. Still got 3 cards in hand. Alright, so now I'm getting the lands I don't really need. I've got a Liturgy of Blood as an insurance policy. Let's do some math here. I'm definitely going to get the Sengir through, so that'll put him at 4. The Academy Raiders will put him at 3. And Chandra will put him at 2, but I can't get the others through. So I'll just leave them at home. Especially since he's got a Brindlebore out right now. He's got 1 more turn than it looks like. Okay, so I got a Blight Caster off that mountain. So, let's see. Yeah, if I could rip a Quag Sickness next turn, that could wipe his board. I could play the Blight Caster and the Quag Sickness all at once if I chose to. But right now I've got enough on the board to kill him next turn. The 4 from the Sengir offsets the Brindlebore. 1 from the Raider and 1 from Chandra takes the other 2 out of him. Okay, so we get another Swamp to pitch. So we could choose to play 1 if we wanted to. But right now let's just start out with some swinging. Okay, so he gets himself up to 6. Doesn't seem like that's going to do a whole lot unless he's got some life gain. Maybe a Fog. So let's get rid of that Swamp just in case. Alright, we got a Maulhorn. Let's hope it doesn't matter. There we go. Alright, we are up on the first game. Checking to see what he's got. There's nothing really that impressive that I can think of anything to sideboard. The only sideboarding plan that comes to mind immediately is to put in that Academy Raider because he doesn't have anything to block it. He also didn't have a whole lot of removal, being green-white. Lava Axe is a possible sideboard. It's just something that occurred to me after playing with Chandra. And if I were to hit a Lava Axe off of an ultimate, that would be 15 points, which would almost guarantee a win, unless I had managed to not do 5 points through the beginning of the game. So Lava Axe is a possibility. My smelts, I don't remember any artifacts that he had at all, let alone one that mattered, so those won't go in. Let's see, what else? Wild Ricochet. I don't think he showed me anything that I would want to Ricochet, so that'll probably stay in. The Shrivel. I did have a couple of things that had 1 toughness, but probably about the same amount that I have. And there's no card that I need so badly in this matchup that I would put in a tutor. So I think Academy Raider will be my only addition. And I'll swap it out for a Siphon Sliver just to keep the curve even. Oh, that is a fistful of land. Well, I do not like to mulligan, but I also will not keep a 7-lander. So let's go ahead and mulligan that. Oh, that's arguably less good than my first hand. So let's mulligan that again, and we're down to 5, and I cannot mulligan down to less than 5. So we're on the draw here. That means we're only really down 1 card and tempo. So as long, hey, there we go. Okay, that was even the right kind. So we've got that Shock online, we've got a Trial Tonight coming up. We can still draw out of this. This hand is now better than the 7-lander we started with. Okay, that's fine. You can play a bear, because I'm just going to shock it right off the bat. Just hoping for more land. Not more lands, but if I do rip a land next turn, then it's going to be a perfect drop. Could actually manage to curve out off of mulligan down to 5. That would be nice. Master of Diversion. I will swing into that. There's no point in sitting back on defense. Okay, not the land I wanted. I do have 2 things that I can automatically play with any land, though. Alright. I'm a little surprised he doesn't block there. I would have traded in his position. But we'll go back and forth, and I'll ping him for 2 unless the board state changes. Okay. Got up to 4 land to play around with. What do we got? Briar Pack. Okay, that's fine. I would rather have a Briar Pack come down to shock me than any other possible use of Briar Pack Alpha. I would definitely have held on to that if I were him, to eat my Child of Night. Alright, so we got that 3rd land. So, the question is, do we play Quag Sickness for only being a -1/-1? Or do we put out the Academy Raider? If I want a 2-for-1 myself, I can swing in with Child of Night. And then Quag Sickness him, but I think I'm going to hold back on that. Oh, that is probably why he's in the life gain deck. Okay, so I need to kill that as quickly as possible. Hopefully he taps down the Academy Raider? No. Okay. So I have to let that through. I'm not going to chump block the Academy Raider. Alright, let's see what I draw here. Swamp. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Well, that has lifelink, so if I can get it down to 0 power with the Quag Sickness, then I might be able to stop it before it just absolutely dominates me. I will have to 2-for-1 myself, because eventually I would probably end up playing a Liturgy Blood if I did draw the rest with Mountains. But that's such a big threat that I'm willing to spend a 2-for-1 on it. So So anyway, let's send through here. If he blocks, then I'll definitely hit him with Quag Sickness. No, he saw right through that. Okay. So do I want to discard anything here? I've got the choice to be either pitching the Quag Sickness and hoping for another land, or not pitching anything and just hoping that I can draw a third swamp by next turn to shut off the power on the Archangel. So we'll make the Angel just a little bit smaller. No? Oh, okay. We'll take down the Master to... No. Angel's too big of a threat. We could just straight take down the mastered version right now, which would stop the counter from going on to it when he does hit, because I can't stop him from hitting me. But if I can't stop that Angel, then nothing's going to happen. Alright, so he's got an Elf. It's going to get a +1/+1 counter now. Oh. Yeah, that's going to be a real issue. So now I have to... Yeah, I can't race it with swamps. It is too big already. So I'm going to need to get off a Liturgy of Blood on that Archangel. And that might not even be enough, because his creatures are going to be so big after this hit. But even if I Liturgy the Angel and then the Briar Pack, he's still going to have 7 points on the table with me at 5. Okay, that Geyser doesn't really do anything. Let's see. Do I have any outs? Well, the first thing that I need is another land, because I have to Liturgy the Archangel. I might just have to see what happens after that. Probably also have to hold back the Child Knight just to keep lethal off, and also gain 2. So if I can... Yeah. First we send the Raiders through. If I can get a land here that I can take down the Archangel, I can chump with the Child Knight, which will put me up to 7. And then the Master plus the Mystic is 7. Okay. So he's got me either way. And Chandra's not really going to do anything for me, because +1ing doesn't change anything. So right now, I just have to hope that he sees me holding mana open and plays... Oh, and Sarah too. Okay. Well, if it wasn't over before, now it's doubly over. Huh. Okay. So he only sends the Archangel through. That's fine. Alright, so there's the land I needed, but I mean it's absolutely too late here, so I'll go ahead and concede. Alright, we're moving on to game 3. We get to see more of his cards that time, but nothing that I can really sideboard against. He didn't have any artifacts. So we'll just submit. Looks like he also snap submitted. Okay, we got land, we got spells, this is fine. Oh, he's choosing whether mulligan to 4. Okay, so he's on 5. So the shoe is on the other foot. Let's see what he's got. Alright, nothing to shock. Hey, we got another shock. Never hurts to have double shock in hand, especially when your opponent has mulligan to 5. So that shortcutter should be able to get in his licks. I do not mind dropping him early, just to have some board presence. And we got Recluse. Alright, sure. You got a Recluse with the shock stapled to it. Ooh, Battle Driver. If I can get one more land, it's going to be a beating. Alright, get my 2 in. Holding up shock on his turn. Okay. Didn't get my 4th land, but that's okay. I do still have plenty of removal. You get in for another 2. And see what the top of his deck holds for him. Brindlebore. Okay. So, and I could use a shock on a Brindlebore to have him sack it and gain 4. Oh, but hey, I've got the Battle Driver. So we'll swing through. If he trades, that's fine, because then I have a Battle Driver coming at him. Alright, so this is where we get a chance to see the Ogre shine. I've got 2 shocks. So any kind of tiny chump blockers he plays with 2 toughness or less are immediately moving out of the way. A land, there we go. So we've got Sengir. But for some reason, oh no, we don't have Sengir up because I don't have that other swamp. Okay, so I'll just hit him for 3, but I do get to hold up a couple of shocks. And I wouldn't even mind 2 for 1ing myself here if he played something that would be able to take down the Battle Master. I could double shock it. Hey, here we go. Alright, so we've got Young Pyromancer. So that comes down, and that's 4 points. And here's the combo that I wasn't even thinking about when I was drafting. I can play shock to get the token, and the token turns into a 3/1 with haste. So my 2 shocks turn into a ball lightning, plus the 2 shocks. So that's 5 points off each shock. So let's see. He's at 11 right now. I'd hit for 3, 6, 10. So that would put him to 1. So yeah, let's use that other shock. Alright, we're sending through for everybody. And that is lethal unless he has a fog. Now, I'm really hoping not to see the fog here, but even if he does fog, I've still got quite a bit of board presence. And as long as the swamp comes up, I can play the rest of my cards that are quite strong. Alright. And Rage Quit. Okay, well that is the end of round 1, so I will see you for round 2 in the finals.